Hello, hello. I just want to say thank you for everybody that came out to support me, like everybody that I know personally, and then thank you for everybody that's showing up because they're here and it's an open mic and they like open mics. That's really dope. This is actually going to be my first feature at Busboys. I'm so honored for that. Just a little bit about me. So my name is Korie. I'm 24 years old. My birthday was actually on Tuesday. It's been such like a good week in general, and a lot of that is because of poetry. I'm actually like flying out to Atlanta tomorrow at like 4 in the morning to celebrate my birthday, and it's just been a great week that I'm able to be here and doing this on stage. And I'm like, oh, somebody's going to give me like 20 minutes to just talk. Like, that's pretty cool. So I'm actually going to start out with one of the first pieces that I ever wrote to pay homage to this. I started out poetry since high school. I was in like poetry club, but before that, I actually had my friend was doing a homework assignment, and it was African American Studies class, and they had a whole bunch of vocabulary words, and the teacher was like, put all of this stuff together and make a poem. And she was telling me about it, and I was like, I like to rhyme. So I guess I'll take that opportunity to just write something for her. And it ended up being like a really cool piece. I performed it at like a play at school, as well as I would go to 5th and K, which used to have, I don't know if it still does youth night, but yeah, that's like the first time I ever like got on stage. So I'm gonna do that piece. It's called Hands Up, Don't Shoot. Segregation of the races, darker faces, banned in certain places, majority minorities because of authorities can't win in court cases. We're living in a world with a white only win basis. There's no more fair game. I gotta get back to the basics, and I'm a patient, losing patience, sick and tired of time wasted. They take our name and misplace it. They take our roots and mistrace it. They do all this stuff, but that doesn't define our placement. King had a dream that we would wake up from a living nightmare. Equal rights, we get the right pair. No longer harassed by police, flashlight glares. Hands up, don't shoot. Just give them a polite stare. That's all you can do in your life. They just might spare. Don't escalate it. Oil full of the light of flight stairs. Life's ended that quick. And we all know it's quite rare for a black who's truly innocent to win a fight where it's his word over someone who's white and gives only slight cares. Colored people could have so much more height, but ethnic prejudice stereotypes, always judging by our sight, have marked us as not bright. We can't read, we can't write. They put our hands behind our back, put them on struggle in our fight, put us in a situation, can barely get an application, through the trials and tribulation, experience so much humiliation, waiting for a change. Come join the conversation. No more discrimination, let's become a better nation. That's like the first piece I ever wrote. That would be pretty cool. So yeah, the next piece is gonna, while we're on the topic of race, we'll get into this piece that's called The Talk. So it's pretty much about me having a conversation with my little sister about racism, and the conversation that a lot of black people have to have with their kids, especially when certain stuff is going on. So that piece, Hands Up, Don't Shoot, was written after my grandma was killed, which was, from what I remember, not too long after Trayvon Martin. And then this piece that I wrote during the time, we're in a pandemic, and it was after George Floyd was murdered. So yeah, it's called The Talk. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. My little sister is 18 months old. She's so adorable, and she kind of looks like me. In the prime of her learning, she's sucking in the most information she ever will in her life. She says Mom and Dad by their real names, and she can count the syllables her grandparents have left for her. She even knows more sign language than me. I'm 20 years older than her, and even though I'm not her mom, I still try to teach her, and I'll always do what I can to protect her. So little Tori, I need you to listen to me. This is no birds and the bees. This is lion and gazelle. This is cops and robber. This is murderer and victim. Baby girl. Humpty Dumpty was dragged here from Africa. Humpty Dumpty was killed like a massacre. All of the government government watched him bleed out and told him to put himself back together and get back in the carton. I don't know where this is headed, but no amount of rhyme or fabric could allow me to wrap my head around this, and we just can't head around it, so I'm gonna wrap my head around this torment. Imagine the monsters. Oh Lord, this is actually really distracting. Okay, that is good. Awkward.
You got this.
Okay, the lighting is like good about me. Okay. I don't know where this is headed, but no amount of rhyme or fabric could allow me to wrap my head around this, and we just can't head around it, so I'm gonna rap from my head about this torment. Imagine the monsters conjured under a child's bed when we literally put our kids to sleep with melody and racist origin. See, King had a dream that we wake up from a living nightmare. Equal rights, we get the right care, no longer harassed by police flashlight glares. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a nigger by its toe. Badge on my chest, partner by my shoulder, just makes me twice as bolder. Rumor is he had a hairbrush. Rumor is we can't let them look good. Put a target where the tumor is. Watch them suffer like it's humorous. Shoot first, ask questions later. Line sights down through humorous. Even if it's on camera, we've seen it numerous times. The patella is the medically correct term for kneecap. And it's funny how when Cap took a knee on America's favorite pastime, a lot of uneducated white people became the first Avengers for this country. They love to, they marvel at the movie. Lord, I really can't see. This is the second thing my head is out of me. They love to see that kind of movie. They'll marvel at the femur that waves over the cervical spine of those without arms. Thank you so much. Yep. Sorry about that. Baby girl, I hate that you have to see me like this, but I hate it even more when our people aren't seen at all. I'm grieving because the hip bone's connected to the backbone, and the backbone connected to the neck bone will get hip to the foundation of what has kept this country breathing. We took a knee on America's favorite time pass, and they take knee on windpipes to let time pass. See, the history that you're ignoring, I don't understand the fight when it's probably the same reason for my color as the biggest organ as a light skin. They pirated our bodies. They buried us with no casket, and now tell us being here is the treasure. Negro, be grateful. Nigger, just pick up your bootstraps. Nigger, times have changed now. Every day, we walk over the graves of fallen soldiers that have built this country, and yet they don't get a nationwide memorial. You can't talk about slavery too much if it's never been an honest conversation to begin with. Only a monologue, a eulogy, preaching to the choir, and I can't pledge allegiance to a symphony that was created on oppression. Baby girl, one of the greatest things biologically that makes us human are these toes to stand upright. I was given toes to stand up for what's right, and I'm telling you to stand up for what's right. Come on, sing it with me. Our eyes and ears and mouth and nose. I look right up with my eyes. I can hear it with my ears. I can say it with my mouth. I can smell it with my nose. We can see it with our eyes, hear him shouting with our ears, taste injustice with our mouths, suffocating at the nose. Are you blinded by your eyes, by the depth of your ears? You want to silence our mouths. You get to breathe with your nose. Baby girl, bring light to your eyes. Let your voice be heard with your ears. When you shout with your mouth, because only Lord knows. I don't know where this is headed, but always look over your shoulder. Keep your knees locked and always stay on your toes. Because this has been going on for far too long, and I don't see it ending anytime soon. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose, head, shoulders, knees and toes. This is a long letter, thank you. I want to do this thing after my pieces where I like say my favorite line and talk about it. I'm not really used to like talking and describing my poems. I usually just get up here, say the poem, and leave. So yeah, my favorite line from that poem is, they pirated our bodies, they buried us with no casket, and now tell us being here is the treasure. So that was, I guess that resonates with me because it like highlights the ignorance that was coming with a lot of things. So they pirated our bodies, that's how we got here, buried us with no caskets, and essentially saying that our deaths were just, it was just normal for us to die in that sense. And now tell us being here is a treasure, so that relates to saying like, okay, you're in America, be grateful. You have like all this opportunity when there's all this other history that you're ignoring that I go into more positive poems. So yeah, that is the talk. The next piece, thank you. The next piece I'm going to be doing is called Table of Conscience. I'm going to let this piece speak a little bit for itself, and I'll talk a little bit about it after. Off to down. Knowledge is power, and words are brain food, but when a book is as thick as fat as a bowl of oatmeal, breakfast just becomes less important. Because let's be honest, we all just rather listen to an audiobook. We want to hear other people's stories. Better yet, we want to hear other people tell our story, but someone else can't write your autobiography. I see funerals in these Roman numerals as letters take the identity of numbers. I see destruction of our voice that's coded before the book even starts. And see, while we are not defined by our circumstances, it is still a part of our dictionary. It directs our dialect and puts enunciation into our accents. Our origins are made up of nouns, verbs, adjectives, prepositions, and predicates, but that is only a part of speech which leaves a hole in language. And I want to become whole in my own language. See, I'm a declarative, interrogative, exclamatory, complex, compound type sentence. I don't even know what the fuck that means. I have pages filled with commas because I don't know how to end things I'm not ready to let go of. I'd rather just run on because sometimes a period is much more than just a dot. Sometimes it's that hole that I fall in again and again, like love with a stranger. Like love with a stranger you've known your entire life. Like the stranger I see in the mirror every morning. I feel like I have to get to know her every day again because I still can't figure out how to read her. I can see her cover from a mile away, call that eye-catching landscape, but I have words and phrases that even Google can't translate in. I'm learning that what's between these lines is not always a blank space. There's more to her. And while the glossary is technically at the back of the book, you must reach it by moving forward. We often get it confused with the appendix because we think we're worthless. Just skimmed like weird milk, but there's always more to be found when you're looking for it like crosswords. No spelling bee could test this. I don't want to be placed in the metrics of this Dewey Decimal System. These are my stories and I don't want a librarian to carry them. I don't subscribe to the narrative of Webster or Merriam. I wasn't made for a library. I lie very comfortable on my own bookshelf. But before that, I got caught up in using the media as an encyclopedia. I started getting greedy, but now I handle recipe manuals because I found out what that's really feeding you. At last, I grabbed an atlas and became a tourist, lurking in shadows behind bright screens. I made myself home as a visitor in everybody else's world beside my own. But by definition, if you're in a foreign country, you can never be native. Korie, know where your home is. Korie, love where your home is. Stop looking for what the soul risks because the best you'll ever become is a synonym, a mere derivative, never the original copy, never what you are designed for. The textbook definition of my God in a physical form, my existence leaves you speechless. And when Microsoft leaves a red line under your name, stop auto-correcting it because it was never misspelled to begin with. Korie, let's say, Broadwater Allen. We are author and illustrator, and we write with utensils as sharp as our minds. Chapters that capture pictures in motion, moving off the page, ladies and gentlemen. Days and M's. The tape is rolling. Take one for yourself instead of always taking one for another team. We are now director, editor, and producer, and we bring life to the life that we want to live. This is your theater, and you are your own audience. Grab the popcorn and enjoy, because we don't fall asleep during our own movies. Thank you. Okay, cool. Thank you. That's like one of my favorite pieces right now. It's a very versatile piece. Like it works in front of all crowds, literally. My favorite line, and I have to remember this off memory. It is, I have pages filled with commas because I don't know how to end things I'm ready to let go of. So when I was writing this piece, I had no idea like where it was going. It just felt cool, and then I'm like a nerd, so I was like, put all this book stuff in here. And it actually came out to be a pretty good piece. I would say about introspection and about reflecting on yourself and learning to love like your history or the parts that kind of came before now, and then appreciate where you are, and then look forward to So, yeah, that's table of conscience. What am I doing next? Going back to the book. So next, we're going to get into some queer stuff. So, I am a Black bisexual artist. Actually, today might be like 365 days of me being out, but I know I haven't been so I don't have, the coolest baby gay year. Oh my gosh, like I had a heartbreak. We're gonna talk about that one a little later. Came out to like all my family, which was a bit like unexpected, and they took it well. Right. Doesn't always happen. So yeah, this piece is called Tierra Wilson. I don't know if you know Umi. She's like a singer. If you don't know her, she's just really attractive, and her real name is Tierra Wilson. So that's why this is named after her. Make the font bigger on this one. Oh, you want to know like a cool secret? So I feel like people come up here, with their book, and then you might think that they write in it. I feel like that's probably what people do. What I do is I take, I don't know if I can see this. This is like this copy paper. I printed out the stuff and then taped it in here. Because my handwriting is atrocious, and I have to make the font bigger. You can see that. I can't really see that well. But yeah, just really funny. I told my friend that, and he was like, I'm disgusted. I feel like I've been, like I've trained. So yeah, so you got Tierra Wilson. This is also some new shit. New shit? Yeah. New shit! This is like my second time performing it. Hopefully this time will go better. But I made cool. She makes the SAT look easy, because it's hard for me to sit now, and I need to manufacture more letters for my alphabet just so I can get how I need an extra P, H, and D just to learn more words to describe her. She could bring the bachelor out of me because her fine art makes my degrees increase. Now there's more temperature in my atmosphere. I promise I'm even more smarter now. You got my atoms clear. I got a Newton C. Now I require a new branch of knowledge because my current lexicon would just not do her justice. The way I'm reading into you got me thinking that God must have favorite genres, a derivative of vibranium, but nothing short of its sovereignty. She's just built different. I call her the grandest larceny because she could leave a poet speechless. You take the art in me, and she's an amalgamation of what I've always hoped to meet but never expected to actually experience the pleasure of witnessing. I could write all about you, even if it meant I could only be your number 2 pencil. And now I'm taking notes like I study at Cornell, and I'm paying more attention than I paid intuition. My intuition says, I bet she kisses like a bold and Sharpie. Times New Roman, it's exponential. She makes me do this thing with my tongue. Now I speak with italics. I'm leaning on my axis, and now my sun, moon, and rising have to find a new atlas. In my fantasy, she calls me daddy, but she says it in cursive. Because I tend to stay intertwined in her lines, even when there's supposed to be a space in between us. I'm an exuberant thinker. She makes me think encyclopedias. I think her, now I tinker, and it would never get tedious to be with you or not to be who I'm fully supposed to become. That is a question that's marked by my existence. Got me reciting Shakespeare like that shit that don't make no sense sometimes. Like I'm an Aristotelian at the 69th law of thermodynamics. I count my seconds and sevens because time spent with you is perfection, and it feels so immediate. I can feel her from a distance. Like my 4 eyes connect the dots when your eyes notice the freckles on my forehead, and if you look hard enough, it would cross all my T's because I can only take lowercase L's without you. I wouldn't speak loud enough. Because trying to see my life without you in it was like trying to get the white out from around my pupils. Your pressure is permanent and your ink permeates my blank spaces where I thought I didn't have much to say. You give voice to the unspoken thoughts that I've been waiting to breathe. My competence is compromised, and I cannot conceive the accumulation of what all my senses read in. I could Babylon all the way back in time to Babylon, because with you I don't know what I'm talking about. But you make me feel like I have all the right words. And I would love to tell you all these great things about you if I only had the confidence to say anything at all. Cool. So yeah, that, I don't really write about love, really. That's the closest thing you would get to that, at least at this point in my life. So my favorite line from that is, 4 eyes, connect the dots when your eyes notice the freckles on my forehead. So this is supposed to relate to like dotting I's, crossing T's, like all that poetic stuff. It'll make this person like complete you, so I'm saying like eyes a lot. And then if you look hard enough, it would cross all my T's, because I'm always taking lowercase L's without you. So like you take a T and you take like a line isn't there, and it's just a lowercase L. And then I wouldn't speak loud enough because the L is loud in lowercase. So yeah, that's like the little corny stuff I'll be putting in here that like you probably don't get when you first hear it. Yes, I have one more piece. Is it in here? It's going to be this piece called February 31st. It is about my first like queer situationship, I call it. Fun fact, I've actually like read her this. Like I've been reciting this, and this has been like helping me a lot. And I actually like shared this piece with her, and it was so cathartic. Like you write something about this, you can tell it's not like nothing crazy. It's not a bad poem about her. It's also about like me processing my internal homophobia. So yeah, February 31st. We met on February 31st, a day I never thought would exist, a day I never thought I was allowed to experience. See, this relationship was about a month and a half, but it brought out 23 years of hope unspoken, even to myself, and I miss every day of it. I miss her every day. About as much as you can miss somebody you never really got to know. I felt like I was an infant living in infinity. You took me back to that little girl that always felt like something was wrong with her. And she still does. See, baby? Well, ex-baby. You told her she didn't have to love pink to be a girl. You told her it's okay to not wear dresses if they don't make her feel comfortable. You said she could play sports with the boys and still be a lady if she wanted to. And that there was nothing wrong with her wanting Marvel action figures instead of Barbie dolls for her birthday. Baby, well, ex-baby, the separation is torture, and I'm a masochist because I love thinking about us. I think about all the sex that we never had, and that vacation that we never went on. I think about all the gifts I got you for your birthday next year, and about meeting your friends that don't even know I exist. I think about you starting that business that you always wanted, and getting that new place where you could lay your head in peace. I think about all the smiles I never got to put on your face. And I think about all the lucky women that get to do that now that I'm gone. See, right now, y'all probably know more about this quote-unquote relationship than she ever cared to pay attention to. I don't even think she's ever heard my poetry, but I still even miss the things about her that I wanted no part of. See, ex-baby. Right now, I would crave your bitchy attitude. Her words, not mine. She rolled her eyes like dice on a game board and got 7s every time. It was perfect. I took every chance spreading my heart out, knowing you would only fold your cards before the round began. It was a game I couldn't even succeed in because I was playing against myself the entire time. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. She had a monopoly on me. I treated her with the care and love I've always wanted to find. Never expected anything in return until I did. Until I realized she didn't even want that from me in the first place. And now I beat myself up because it's been 2 months later, longer than the relationship itself, and I still miss you. Because what you don't know is the feeling of you next to me always meant something more than just skin-touching affections. It was grace, it was validation, it was allowed, reciprocated, and celebrated. And I told myself that even wanting to experience this pure, natural joy was a problem, a character flaw. The battle going on with my beliefs in my heart was a silent death, and you helped me be born again, a resurrection. Can I be blunt with y'all? See, understanding my sexuality has been so complex, mostly because it's something I never thought was meant to be understood in the first place. Because according to the God I was worshiping, I was never meant to. And honestly, the reality is I have never felt like I could be loving God and myself at the same time. These were mutually exclusive. Oil and water, a potion of poison for a destiny I always wanted to avoid. So ex-baby, when I say I miss you, I mean I miss what you brought out of me, or maybe what you allowed me to bring out of myself. A part of me that I always knew existed, but that I never knew was allowed to live. That I tried to make extinct from the moment I realized its conception. You let her breathe. You gave her oxygen. See, I really never met her before, because anytime I heard her, I pretended like she never existed. And when the voices became too loud, I whipped out their eardrums and strangled them with the hangers in this closet. Yes, the separation is hard. And waking up is the hardest part because now I'm just faced with myself. A mirror behind closed eyes, I see everything my family has ever told me, everything society tells you, and it's beginning to sound a lot like my own voice now, and I can't distinguish the difference anymore. So now none of those things are worse than what I tell myself as baby. Your existence has been everything, and representation is so important because sometimes the biggest statements have no words, and being with you was like a white noise with all the right expressions, and I appreciate every moment I got to spend with you, because now I spend so much more time with myself, not judging, not hating, but living authentically. And I know I'm attractive, my body's nice, I'm active, I got hella skills and talents, and my poetry is immaculate.
Yeah.
My therapist says I'm well above average, and I could probably pull and bag all the fruits in the garden, but all the holes in my front lawn would never make the grass greener. It wouldn't quench my thirst, because they cannot replace what I feel like I'm missing without you in my house, because you taught me that your fruit was never forbidden in the first place. So now, I put a painting in my living room, a table in my kitchen, the sheets on this bed with your scents in the fabric. They always say you never forget your first girl, and for now you'll never even know this poem exists about you. But I'd love to invite you back in one day so that I can say thank you for helping me build the home that I'm living in, now that I love myself. Alright, real quick, the favorite line?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so favorite line from that, I did not mark this. Before that, oh, here we go. So I'm kind of like talking about like the religious aspect of it previously, and then it goes into, so ex-baby, when I say I miss you, I mean I miss what you brought out of me, or maybe what you allowed me to bring out of myself. So that's, like I said, the relationship was like a month and a half. Like it was nothing like theoretically a fling, but it was like very special to me. She had been in the lesbian game for very long, so I just felt like, oh, I was just like this other girl that she had, like the February girl or whatever. But it was like very special to me. And so I was trying to understand why I was so hurt from it. And especially like after all this processing of it, I realized that she was the first woman that I felt like I was allowed to be attracted to. Like that's how like deep the internal homophobia was. So yeah, like that whole experience like just shaped me a lot. Made me start doing poetry again, because this is one of the first pieces I started writing again. After that situation, started on open mics. And yeah, so that's my set. Thank y'all for listening. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, it is Korie is late, so that is KorieIslate. Kind of means Korie is the tape, but it's spelled like that. It's kind of funny. But yeah, thank y'all. Y'all have been a great audience.